Okay, this is my Minicast, episode 6 with Hayden. Hayden is a passionate resistance trainee who works at Nutrition Warehouse and is actually an aspiring personal trainer, which I didn't know, and I just found out that today. So today he will share with us his expertise on supplements, potentially for performance and health, or whatever we decide to talk about. He is very strong and jacked and has a very impressive look and beard. How are you today, Hayden?
Pretty good yourself.
I'm pretty good. Can I ask you a few questions about your beard?
Go for it.
How long did it take you to grow the beard?
What has it been? Been about 4 months.
Oh,
4 months-ish, somewhere around there.
Will you ever cut the beard?
I've been contemplating it.
No! What do you reckon, Laurie? He's missed. What's up?
No.
No, you're not cutting the
I
beard.
have this fucking stupid habit of going like this in my beard.
What, like twirling it?
Twirling it.
Do you?
And then, then I end up getting like a hair on my finger and I'm like...
That's a very aristocrat thing to do.
I
Just sit
reckon
there
that's pretty unhealthy.
twirling a beard. You know what you should do? You should sit in public and stare at someone and just twirl the beard. And just see the reaction and film it.
Get me out of the habit.
We're going to do my Minicast presents the twirling of Hayden's beard. Do you think the beard makes you stronger?
100%.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because that's why I'm weak, because I don't have a beard. I have a stubble, so I'm like getting there. All right, I'm going to start you. I'm going to start you. Let's go. Now I'm going to ask you a few questions about how you got into exercise and stuff, and then we'll just go from there. And we'll probably not stay on track, which is exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah, sweet.
Well, if we do stay on track, that's good too. Why did you start lifting or exercising in general?
Exercise in general?
What, like from the start? Because you were telling me you played basketball, and
Yeah.
we'll go from there.
Yeah, so pretty much back when I was about 12, like I had a brain... no, I fucked it up.
Did you? No?
No.
Doesn't matter.
Back when I was about 12, I was experiencing headaches and stuff, and went to the doctors to check it all out. Ended up saying that I had it was just puberty, it was just dehydration, this, that, and whatever. Different doctors gave me different medications. They were all wrong. When I was about 16, I went into a different doctor, and he's like, right, we just do a brain... he's like, all right, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, we'll just do a brain scan. It's like a precautionary method, which they all should have done.
I was going to say, that's something that you think they would have done from the get-go.
I don't know. I reckon it's self-explanatory. I'm not even a doctor.
Yeah. This kid comes to you with headaches. Yeah.
Let's go check this out just in case.
Yeah.
What's the harm?
Yeah, exactly right.
But yeah, pretty much I was dying when I went to him. I was vomiting, lost 10, 15 kilos. I was already skinny at this time, being 58 kilos.
Far out.
Before I lost weight, so I was skinny as hell.
Oh wait, so you were 58 kilos and then
that happened.
You got lighter.
Yeah, so I dropped to 48 and everything was going.
So you were pretty. It was looking pretty grim.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that you were 48.
I was vomiting heaps and all that. My abs started kind of
protruding. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty disgusting. I looked down. I looked very lean, but because
not in a good way.
I looked very lean, but then my abs were kind of protruding out, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah, no, Jesus Christ. So what happened after that?
Yeah, that's when I went to the doctors, and he did the brain scan, and then half an hour after I got home again, he's like, "Get the fuck back here!" He didn't say get back here now. He's like, "Get the fuck back here!"
Shit.
This is a doctor. So get the fuck back.
So he swore and everything. He was that serious. Yeah. He was like, "You need to come." Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and
the thing they left it for. So how long did they leave it for?
It was potentially, it could have been there since I was born.
Okay.
This is what the neurosurgeon said. But when I started experiencing the actual the headaches and stuff every couple of seconds, that was when I was about 12. So after I got the first initial, what you call it, symptoms, 4 years.
So when you were 12?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So that's when everything started kind of shutting down, and then and then as soon as I got to, I ended up going to, was it Clayton or Chadstone? I think I've told you. Clayton. Yeah. As soon as I got to Clayton, they put me in the children's ward, and then they're like, "Yeah, we need to operate in a couple of days, so get ready."
Holy crap!
Yeah. So it was I got in there on the Friday, and then.
So it should have been done in a couple of days. Took them 4 years.
Yeah, to figure that out.
Oh Christ.
Yeah. So I went into Children's Hospital, and they said we need to operate in a couple of days. I went in there on Friday, and then had brain surgery on Monday.
Oh my God.
That's all I had to yeah, that's all I had to get prepared for it. And the night before, like being 16, I was fucking petrified. I'm like,
Yeah, no.
I was just like, I was just sitting there. I'm like, I'm literally going to get my head cut apart.
Cut open, yeah. like that's something that you never really, wake up one morning and go, "What would we like to get my head cut open?" Who knows?
Yeah, like it was.
That's incredible.
Pretty crazy.
And then what was recovery like? Like what happened after?
I had to learn how to walk again.
You had to do all this all over. Like I did not know this. So
it was more like I knew how to walk, but my body.
You couldn't. Wow.
Yeah, like where it was like where the big cyst and the 2 tumors where they were. It was where like all my balance was. So once they took that out, everything just fucking went. Like I couldn't even sit up straight on.
How long did it take you to learn? What was that like for you? Can you talk about it?
Yeah. Like, it was terrible. I'll give it that. But like they were expecting me to be there for at least a month before like I started to like start to walk again. But then I ended up leaving there within a week and a half.
What?
Yeah,
how did you?
Because I was just like
determined.
I was super determined.
Did you have when you left? Did you walk out like you could walk from the start, or were you like?
I couldn't walk from the start. No, not even close. Like, I'll demonstrate it. But I literally, like, after the surgery, they got me standing up. Like, I couldn't stand up by myself, and they're like, walk like this. Like, try and walk in a circle. I went like this. I'm like,
really? So you tried to walk in a circle, just fall over. Yeah. Oh my god!
Yeah, but like, they were there because I knew that was gonna happen. They
yeah.
See like where.
And that I'm lost for words.
Yeah.
Like I was not prepared for that. I did not know you couldn't walk, and you know what I mean. That's incredible.
Yeah. Like the physiotherapist team, they're awesome.
They would have been
100%
a week and a half when you had like a month.
Yeah.
I'm lost for words. I don't know what to say. Like
they were like they gave me like a kind of program per se. They didn't actually give me a program, but they're like at least do this every day. Like walk a couple of steps, try and walk from like your bed to a chair.
But after the week and a half was up.
Yeah, like before, like after they said that, the first couple of days I was like walk to the chair, walk back kind of thing, and then I was like I'm walking around the fucking ward. And I was like I walked out the door and I was like trying to walk around the ward. I'm like holding onto the side rails, just like kind of walking along.
So, but after you left after a week and a half, could you walk or were you still?
I could walk.
Sort of.
Yeah.
It wasn't 100%.
I was probably at like 85.
Really, in a week and a half?
Yeah.
You didn't trip over anything. Like you wasn't.
I had no falls or anything. Like after, like because the handrail was there. Like I was like holding onto it like for ages. Like I would end up walking around the ward for like 3 hours straight.
Really?
Just like holding onto this thing because I was like, no, I'm being back.
Yeah, that's amazing. That is an amazing start to the story.
It fucking hurt doing that because like.
All your muscles, even like serious DOMs.
Yeah.
Even
like,
horrible.
All my muscles are gone. Like, well, not gone, obviously, but yeah, like.
But my
legs, like my
you
calf
have
was
atrophied.
Like, yeah.
Like you would have looked very unwell.
Like I didn't even have like a body of muscle on my calf. Like it was
now
it was literally like this.
The listeners can't see, but these calves are like kangaroo fillets. So there you go.
Fuck. Yeah.
That is incredible. Yeah. Okay, so
they've came a while.
Yeah. So after a week and a half, you went home, and then when did you start getting into exercise? And
well, I got into exercise while I was in the gym. Not in the gym. I mean, in the hospital.
Yeah.
But I didn't actually exercise in the hospital because I watched that CT.
Oh yes, yeah. Tell. Yeah. This is good.
So pretty much like after my surgery, I was sitting there like watching videos, slipped on YouTube, and then one of CT Fletcher's videos came along, and this is like when his big like kind of documentary thing like went around like years ago.
Yep.
Like you know how he's like talking about how he's died and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty much I watched that and I was like sitting there. I was like, well, this motherfucker died 3 times.
Yeah.
Like I didn't fucking die.
Yeah.
Like cost different surgery, but I was just like, no.
But it's motivating.
Die. Like he can fucking get through it, so can I.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then just went balls to the wall
with his training. So how soon after the week, like that week where you came home, how soon after did you get into exercise or sport or whatever?
So I wasn't actually allowed to lift any significant weight.
No, of course not.
That until like, it was like 6 months with virtually no activity afterwards. So like, I was sitting there like wanting to go work out and I couldn't.
Yeah.
But
so 6 months with no activity, like literally nothing.
And then like after 6 months to a year was like light activity. That's when I like went to the gym, did some chest presses. Shit like that, like not like.
So you had to wait like 12 months for some things. Like
and that's what, like after the 12 month, that's when I just went balls to the wall.
Far out.
I'm just like, right, now's the time.
That's incredible. So you were just dying to work out for so long.
Yeah.
You waited 6 to 12 months. The momentum didn't die, like the drive didn't die.
The drive did not die.
Wow. That's incredible. Well, what were you doing for 6 to 12 months to keep you motivated to work out?
I wasn't doing anything to like keep me motivated.
Because you were always motivated.
Yeah, I was just always
You're like,
motivated.
I'm going to go in there and kill it.
Like I watched videos every now and then, but I was like always just wanted to go and kill it.
Far out.
Yeah, like the only thing I was doing pretty much, I was playing Call of Duty.
Yeah. Which one?
Yeah, Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, that's probably
that flat out for like a year straight, and then I was like, now's the time.
that was probably the last COD I played that I actually enjoyed, and the rest I was like,
That's exactly the same.
yeah.
They just went downhill. So.
After that, then I got like Advanced War. I haven't seen it. Like I haven't even played it.
And now there's fucking people flying
Jon
around,
Snow's in it.
people like flying around on jetpacks and shit.
Yeah, like I played those games because I liked that very you know what I mean? Yeah, just machine guns, and it was just, I don't know. It's a gaming channel now.
I used to be one of those quick scopers.
Were ya?
Yeah.
You son of a bitch! Like, fuck you. That's why I stopped playing the game.
Yeah, I even went and played like competitively.
Bullshit.
Yeah, like this is like 2-3 weeks after my surgery. I went and joined this kind of competitive sniping. Like,
are you serious? Well, you went.
I didn't get anywhere.
Did you make money from this?
No. It was
because some people make loads of money.
If you won the tournament, you would make like heaps.
Yeah, like millions. Yeah, maybe not millions, but I've seen where the prize was like $1 million.
Yeah, with the quick scoping, like the money wasn't that great. Like you might have won like $1,000, but then like we say like the tactical teams are with like the assault rifles and stuff. Like there's like big, massive like tournaments like for that, and they can win like hundreds of thousands of dollars. But yeah, I didn't do that.
What the hell am I doing being a personal trainer? I'm going to go and play. I'm actually really terrible at COD. The only game that I have actually come to realise that I'm actually alright. I've never played this game online. It's actually Injustice 2, just sitting right there. It's a fighting game.
I've wanted to play that.
We should have played it. It's actually so good. And like I played online, and I whooped ass. And I'm like, I'm actually good at this. And then someone come along who was like, I looked like, because you gear, like your characters get gear and they get like different armour. And I was like, this guy's armour. He was like gold and white Batman. And I'm like, he's going to fuck me up. So like he did. And I probably knocked off this much health of him. And he just kicked my ass. And I'm like, I'm not playing this game again. But I did play it. But still, what a bastard. So when did you actually start lifting then? Like when was it? Year-wise and everything. And then we'll go through like your first couple of years lifting after all that. Because that's incredible.
I can't remember the exact date.
No, it doesn't. No, I want an exact time, date.
It was somewhere after I turned, like when I started training seriously, because of course, like
because you would have been
when I started, I didn't have a personal trainer. I had no one that taught me how to.
Yeah, just CT Fletcher.
So, yeah, just CT Fletcher. So I literally just fucked around. I had no idea what I was doing. The progression, like, there's pretty much nothing. But for that first year, also, was. Yeah, I would say that I wasn't even a beginner at that stage.
Really, you just stuffed around.
Yeah, I just stuffed around. I had no idea what I was doing. But then the year after that, so I've been lifting seriously for about 2.5 years, and then like I've been in the gym for 3.5 years. But,
so you've been lifting seriously for 2.5 years.
Yeah, but that year, the year in the beginning was like it was just shit. Like,
Did you actually make progress?
Not that much.
It just nothing happened.
That's how I got a little bit stronger. I got. Like in certain lifts, like say my bench went up a little bit.
So what was your first bad progress? Well, it's not bad. Well, it was pretty bad then if you didn't make progress.
First mistake was making my own program.
Oh right, so you didn't. Okay.
Yeah. So
tell us about that.
One, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah.
And 2, I just pretty much did the same thing.
What was the program?
It was just like a bro split.
Like, did you do legs?
Yeah.
Well, that's credit to you. Who does legs in the first year?
I had that in my program, but I didn't do it all the time.
Oh, it was like a piece of paper. What I do was I go Monday to Friday and then do like a specialisation arm day instead. Did you actually do that?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's so common. It's so funny. So what, do you remember much about the bro split? Can you run us through it? That'll be interesting.
What did I run? It was just like a push, pull, legs, arms, and then shoulders. Split.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, like it wasn't.
That's actually.
It wasn't
you could.
bad.
That's
like,
not. Is that your first good one or bad one?
It was a bad one just because I didn't have like the progress in there.
And you didn't have the consistency, you weren't actually doing it.
Yeah, I didn't have the consistency nor the progress.
But that's actually really, that's a clean looking, you could make that work.
Like, a lot of people could make that work.
That's good.
Just because I had no idea what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah. What were like the exercises you were doing and everything?
No, so I was doing like the main core lifts, like bench, deads,
Yep.
squats.
So you're actually doing that in the first couple of years?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Like that's what I saw, like say CT Fletcher doing. So I was just like, right.
if CT does it, I'm gonna do it. So yeah, but they look. At least you're doing them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah.
What else?
So it was a good-ish looking program,
Yep.
but then progress wasn't there.
Like I said, there's structures there. That's a good template because you could have like, so you did arms on one day and then shoulders on another day.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I don't think that's bad. You could do push-pull legs, right? And then on the last 2 days, remaining 2 days, you want to train 5 days a week. You could do another body part. So obviously, was shoulders like a priority for you?
Back then, yeah.
Yeah. So you would do another body part like shoulders. That was a priority, and you would just like a shoulder specialization day, and then arms a priority for everyone. And if you don't train arms, then there's something wrong with you. But like, you could do like arm specialization. That's actually really smart. I think that's intelligent. You know what I mean? The other people are going to look at that is people who are all about functional and how that's not functional and everything's in, you know what I mean? That's fine. Yeah. It's just going to make sense for you. So I'm all about that. I might even run that myself, but I might just.
But it was fun. It was fun to start with.
It's good and it's fun and you stuck to it.
Yeah.
But you struggle with leg day every now and then. Doesn't matter. It's only legs. So what was the good looking program like?
So the good looking program was more. That was when I learnt of my lever lengths and stuff like that, like how to.
Oh, really? You got right into it.
Yeah,
good.
I was starting to get like right into it. I was like, radio. Like, compared to my torso and like my arms and all that shit, I was just like, right, I got short legs, short arms, so I'm gonna be good at the bench and I'm gonna be good at squatting.
Yeah, and then deadlifts are gonna be
terrible. Like hard, but not terrible. I don't know, but I'm just not made to deadlift.
Yeah, and that's the same. Like I'm not really made to squat. Like my squat, like I said to you, was only 147.5 for 5, like, and that was probably, I reckon I did that once or twice, and then I hurt my back pretty bad.
Was that due to the axial loading, or
was it? It's, I think pain and the way injuries occur is very complicated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's sort of, it could just be I was doing too much at the time, and I wasn't accounting for like my overall life volume. Like I like to think that we don't just have training volume, but we have life volume.
Yeah.
Because I was at uni, I was driving like, I was doing, I don't know how many Ks a week of traveling, but I was studying and I was working and then I was squatting my ass off, literally. And maybe not literally, wow, that's fucked. And and yeah, I just hurt myself. And I don't remember whether it was squats or deadlifts, but one of them really screwed me up and I have not been able to get to 147 since then. And I am far more prone to injury because of it. Is it a herniated disc? I couldn't tell you. Do I really care? No. I'm still sitting here healthy and I'm fine. I just don't do things that are difficult and hurt. Like I don't have like this religious. I do actually. I try not to. I try not to have this like religious inclination towards certain exercises. You know what I mean? Like, you know when you don't deadlift, try not deadlifting, squatting, or benching for a block. You be like, I'm weak and small, and you know you just feel terrible.
Yeah.
But it's nothing. Like it's fine. You know what I mean? Like if you did a rack pull, a front squat, and incline dumbbell press instead, that's okay. But because of the internet and like, you know, and just the influence of literally the internet and everything like that, it's very hard to put those exercises on the back burner for like anything else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like,
yeah, and even like if you're even if you're like a bodybuilder, is it really a point deadlifting? Like, what do you reckon?
So I reckon it is really fun deadlifting.
It's a fun lift, yeah.
But depends. It depends if
it's hard to say.
Yeah, so you could just do rack pulls.
Yeah, why do you have to deadlift from the ground?
You don't have to deadlift.
Yeah. And I actually think, like, when I discuss this, I'm like, but are they a poor exercise for bodybuilders? Because there's no eccentric component. You literally just drop it. Unless you're doing, like, eccentric deadlifts, then you just do RDLs.
Yeah.
So, it's
they're all about the hammies. So.
Yeah, and it's really hard to program. There's a lot of overlap with the deadlift. So, if you want to do any other exercise around it, like it's pretty hard to do back the next day, it's hard to do legs the next day or before it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it chews up a lot of that recoverable volume because it's such a high stimulus. So if you look at like the SRA curve, stimulus recovery adaptation, the stimulus of a deadlift is huge. You know what I mean? So then you got to consider that with your programming, and then where do you go from there? So if you're a bodybuilder and you want to be jacked as big as possible, and strength is still important, and you need to get stronger over the course of your entire training career. But if your goal is to get as big as possible, you definitely don't have to do deadlifts. You know what I mean? We just went on a total news what happened. Now we're on a tangent. So now I don't know what we're up to. So what was that good looking program like? Like what did it look like?
So pretty much that started training every body part twice per week.
Yeah.
Now it's a little bit different. Like for example, I train arms 4 times a week now instead of twice per week.
But that's really important because arms is everything.
Yeah.
Arms is life.
Yeah. But I don't like go ham with the amount of volume. It's only 2 movements.
Yeah.
For,
it's just yeah. So you have to consider that recoverable.
Yeah.
Volume.
You have to recover. That's the most important.
Yeah.
Like, of course, if you just keep overreaching, you're just going to end up.
You'll non-functionally overreach and then wind up overtraining. I mean, but that's further down the line. Like overtraining, like to really overtrain, you have to look for it.
Yeah. You have to do fucking.
You have to do a lot. Like it's pretty easy if you're really into lifting to non-functionally overreach. I reckon.
Yeah.
Like if you add a set, you keep adding sets, you'll get to that functional overreaching stage. And then if you really don't look after yourself, you will non-functionally overreach. But overtraining is a big deal. Like OTS, overtraining syndrome, you really see that in like marathon runners who resistance training.
It's more like elite level.
Yeah, like you're never gonna. It's very difficult to do it. Not that you're never gonna do it because you could do it. Like, but you're very unlikely that you're gonna do it just lifting weights.
Yeah.
Unless you do like 50 sets of everything.
If you just lift weights to overreach, if you don't sleep either.
Yeah, maybe you don't sleep and you have a full-time friggin' job and like I mean like a full-time 20-hour day gig.
Literally do everything you can.
And you still lift.
To not recover and.
Yeah, then maybe you'll OTS it up. But I mean, yeah, it's we keep going. Okay, talk about program. I keep stuffing this up.
I definitely think people overreach a little bit, but like nowhere near overreach.
But I think people are very good at auto-regulating their programs.
Because they're just like,
without all this sciencey
stimulant. I feel shit.
So I'm not going to go so hard. You know what I mean? And that's how I do my deloads, and I'm right into like the science of program design, and I totally get it. And well, I mean, I don't get it. There's always stuff to learn, but I totally get it for myself and my clients. But I will just train until I'm like, oh, I don't really feel 100%. My lifts aren't doing as good as they probably could, and I'll just go, should probably do a deload.
That's why.
And usually I'm right.
That's why I deloaded this week.
Because you just felt like that. Is it programmed or is it?
No, yeah, it's programmed.
But it's not.
No, it's not really programmed. But like I kind of use it around the 6 week mark.
Yeah.
But if I still feel like I can keep training,
the same. So I actually did this. I went for 8 weeks, and then week 9 I was like, I probably should have deloaded maybe in week 8. But at the same time, like really pushing that really gives you that, then deloading, then you'll get that muscle supercompensation effect. Yeah. You know, and that's stuff that's really old research. Like that's not new stuff.
Nothing new, yeah.
That's stuff that like we looked at uni. That's stuff that guys like you had that seminar in June. Mike Israel talks about. Yeah. That's that's very conventional program design. Yeah. So tell us about your deload.
So pretty much, I'm not doing it as you're supposed to in the way that the science looks and everything, like cut volume in half, etc., etc. Like that's not that hard to do anyway. But I've just been terribly lazy. And I've only trained. Well, I did 1 chest day. I've done back day today. I'd probably just do legs 1 session and then. But
that's still half. It's probably around half.
Yeah, around
And if you're not like an elite athlete, like who cares?
Yeah.
Not who cares. I shouldn't say.
As long as I'm recovering, I'm happy.
Yeah, like if you were like. You know, an elite like lifting athlete, like an athlete who lifts like a powerlifter or an Olympic weightlifter, and you went and did that, your coach would be like, "Do you want to win, or do you want to?"
But luckily, I'm not fucking Eddie Hall, so.
Yeah, so you don't have to. You know what I mean? Yet you do have a beard. I reckon you're on the way.
Now I just need to like smash like shitloads of pasta. Put on.
Yeah, no shit. Let's run through some of your goals briefly, especially after. Okay, yeah, let's run through some of your goals briefly.
In terms of like in the
your fitness stuff, yeah. Oh, and you can talk about life. Yeah. Why not?
Well, we'll start off with the fitness stuff. Like, I just want to continuously getting strong.
Yeah.
Like, everyone wants to go in that linear kind of fashion.
I wish.
But it doesn't work like that.
Sometimes when my clients come in like, I had a really bad session, like you know, they tell me that they had bad sessions. And I'm like,
it happens.
It's normal. Like imagine if every session you ever had was like 5 kilo increase on the bench and squat and dead.
I'll be bench pressing.
I'd be a
3,000 kilos.
world champion powerlifter. I'd actually be Superman. I'd probably lift a building without even thinking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like it's impossible to have that very linear progression unless you just start lifting like for the first time ever, or you come back to lifting after God knows how long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or when you start a new exercise, it's very easy to progress that exercise.
Yeah. So like for example, like a prime example of that with my own training, I started doing lateral cable raises.
Yeah.
First week, I was using 2.5 kilos, and that was fucking hard.
Yeah.
Second week, 7.5 kilos.
And that was still, it was difficult, yeah.
That was still hard, but I haven't progressed that much since then.
But there's another thing too, like an exercise that, I don't want to say isolation compound and stuff, because that gets murky in my opinion, but like, it is technically an isolation. But
I just more focus on the contraction.
Yeah, and because there's less muscles involved, you can only apply so much force to that exercise.
Yes. So unless your delts are like...
Unless you have friggin' boulders for delts, like the exercise ball for delts, then it's just not going to happen. Which is, look at the size of it. We're talking about Swiss ball, for those of you listening.
I wish.
On the toilet. What was that?
I wish.
I don't. Imagine how, look at one of those creative characters, I'm like...
Try to do chin-ups and you're like struggling yourself.
Doing like little half reps. So yeah, that would be...
You make your waist look nice and thin though.
It would, wouldn't it? Like overly thin. What other goals do you have in the gym?
Well...
You want to be strong, jacked.
Yeah, I just want to be strong and jacked.
But what's wrong with that? I feel like everyone's forgotten.
So don't like over-analyze it. Just train.
Make
sure everything... Like at a top scale, I would say to like take like what's it called track your, like say your nutrition intake, track your food. I mean that's the same thing, but track your volume is what I was meant to say. But like that could be.
If I go back in time, I would track my volume from the start because then I'd be like, well, not so much my volume, but even like look at my sets. Like if I was like I'm doing 5 sets of that back then, maybe I should do 6 sets of that now. But I don't know because I delete all my training programs.
Yeah.
So do you do that?
I've got like all my old ones, like they're saved on Google
Drive.
Yeah, Google Drive. So I'm luckily they're there.
Really, that is so good.
Yeah, but like now I have this like app on my phone that I just log it on.
What app is it?
It's called Rep Count.
Rep Count.
It's like $1.50 or something.
Really?
On the iTunes thing.
For once, or like is it like a monthly?
It's a once-off thing.
Wow.
And yeah, like it has graphs and like you must be. I think it's up there.
That's incredible. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like it shows like graphs of like, so you can make sure you're like always like pretty much overloading, and then like see when you do the deload.
For $1.50.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. That's awesome.
So it has stuff like your estimated one rep max, like stuff that you've done before as well.
But it's free for like how long?
It's just that $1.51 off.
Oh well.
Then like this is my favorite thing. You just got a graph of the volume you've done, like so you.
Holy shit!
So like that dot.
What's it called again?
Rep Count.
I'm getting it. That's actually really good.
Yeah, I reckon it is amazing.
That's good if you're a personal trainer for clients.
Yeah, I'll just tell everyone to get it.
There you go.
They need
I like
it. Kickback.
They do. If you listen to my Metacast right now, Rep Count, we want kickback. $1.50. So we want $1. 2 cents. Yeah. All right. So you've talked about that's women. You just train for like strength and hypertrophy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and like I was going to say, like I feel like people have forgotten that's why they got into the gym, and now everyone's into like all this stuff which is okay. You can change your goals.
Yeah.
But
everyone's just
lose.
Fucking this study said that.
Yeah, and everyone gets all, and it's like, just relax, man. Yeah. Like, and I love the sciencey stuff. You do too, but you really
they could take into account like say one, and then they would just neglect all the other.
Yeah, like you have to look at you have to look at all the literature it's a
whole. That's why I really like Examine. Like,
yes, Examine. Oh my God, you'd be good.
That's
wicked.
my favorite website,
isn't it? And they get like all the evidence, and they're like, what's that thing they've got? The human effect matrix. You know how when you look at a supplement, or you look at an ingredient, I should say, of a supplement, they have the human effect matrix.
Oh yeah.
And it's got like it's really effective for, let's say, muscle.
This is what it does.
But not so effective for this.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that website. Examine.com, get around it.
So the thing with
kickbacks.
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they got like a thing you can. Like,
I would buy that. I think that is such
a lot of people could learn from that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, like for example, like when that big glutamine phase is going around.
Yeah.
It's like fucking glutamine, all this stuff.
You just went to examine.
Yeah, I just went to examine. I just had a look on there. Like,
And it's crap.
it
I wouldn't say it's crap.
It's not crap but it is crap if you're deficient. I mean,
If you have enough glutamine.
If you're already having glutamine, which chances are you do.
You are,
If you're not like lactose intolerant or anything like that.
Yeah.
But like say if you're a vegan, not getting any dairy products, have a little bit of glutamine to help with recovery a little bit.
Yeah.
But then again, if you're having like a post-workout shake and stuff like that, and then there's no point putting glutamine into something that
It's like branched chain amino acids.
Yeah, it already had. Yeah,
It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Like why?
If you have a high protein intake, you don't need them.
Yeah. There you go. Like if you already consume a mixed protein diet where you consume like a variety of different amino acids from a variety of different meat sources, even like obviously like grain and seed sources, you do not need branched chain amino acids. You will have a very multifaceted branched chain amino acid profile
from all of them. Yeah.
From all that food. But still, if you want to supplement branched chain amino acids, by all means, I'm not going to stop you.
I would only recommend them just because they taste nice and they're a bit.
I said that too. I always said it tastes really nice.
Yeah, they taste really nice. They're a little bit healthier.
And you drink more water. Yeah, and there's no like, it's low calories or 0 calories.
But they'll all have a little bit.
Well, yeah,
because they're essentially like the building blocks.
Is it 4 calories? Probably a serve.
I think, like say for the Revive, for instance.
Yeah.
The one that we sell at Nutrition Warehouse, like most of the time. There's 50 something calories in that, but that's like with all their branch chains, it works out to have like 11 grams of protein. And since you can't have protein without calories,
yeah, of course.
So you have like 50 calories.
I always thought it was like just really, really low in calories. Well, I guess it is. I thought it was like 4 or 5 calories. I literally thought it was like nothing. So I've never actually supplemented branched chain amino acids.
Yeah. So if your diet's already high in protein anyway, and you're getting a big variety of different
that's why I've never done it. And like with shakes, they have a complete amino acid. Well, you'd assume they would, but there's a lot of stuff on the market that's.
So they have a lot of different amino acids, like say for the glutamine that's in like shakes like that. But like that's all amino acids. Like even citrulline, like L-citrulline, anything with an L at the start of it is an amino acid. But like. The only thing with branch chains, like you're getting your 3 main.
Yeah, leucine, isoleucine, valine. Yeah.
But you'll be getting enough.
You'll be getting that if you have a steak.
Yeah. But you'll be getting them, but maybe not
in the amount.
Yeah, not in the amount that you want. But
if you have a mixed protein diet,
and you have a lot of protein, like say, like if you're having at least 1.5 to 2 times your body weight protein, don't need branch chains.
Yeah, even 1.5, which is actually like low according to a lot of fitness people.
Yeah.
Who would love their protein intake. Like that's low, and you still get enough protein, and you still have a robust amino acid profile. Okay.
Some people don't realize that protein converts into glucose if you have too much as well.
Yeah.
So and then you throw words at them like it's called gluconeogenesis, and they look at you like, what the fuck?
So talk a bit about that, or is that pretty much all you wanted to say about that?
It was funny, like one time I was like telling someone about it and they got actually really aggressive at me because
people, like I said, like people have these very religious ties to whatever concept they believe.
Yeah, like this person, for instance, I'm not going to name them or anything.
No, don't name no one. So I have to bleep it out.
But when I was when I was talking to this person, they were like, "Oh yeah, I'm running a keto diet."
True.
And then I'm like,
keto.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, awesome. Like, what's your diet looking like? It says high protein, low carb, moderate fats.
But if it's not keto.
Yeah, it's not keto.
Because it's high protein.
But when I said it's not keto.
I'll let you explain it, but yeah.
When I said it's not keto, he just went, yeah.
It's like, no.
He's like, yeah, it is. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Protein, if you have too much protein, it converts into glucose.
And then you've pretty much outdone the keto.
It's going to bump you out of keto. And he's like, no. And
keto is actually a low protein diet.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it is a low protein. It would be, it is. 100% it's low. It's low for fitness enthusiasts.
Yeah, so you'll be, like, for instance, someone my weight, like, I would normally eat, like, around about 170 protein.
Yeah.
To run keto, I would have to have, like, 90 to 100.
Yeah, so that's...
Then have, virtually no carbs and pretty much eat,
butter. Yeah, and yeah, like, when I say low, when I meant low, that's why I was a bit sketchy on whether it was low, because it is subjective what's low and what's not. You know what I mean? Like, that might be higher for someone who very much looks at like the Australian reference norms for nutrition.
Yeah.
That's
Then they don't factor in the fact that they're like 6'10", and then
yeah, and then there's a problem.
If
but
you're 6'10" trying to eat 2,000 calories, you're gonna have a problem.
yeah, like whatever the recommended. It is 2,000. The recommended one is 2,000. Jesus Christ! Someone's like, I always get that question. Always, should I only have 2,000 calories a day? And I'm like, what? Like, where is that? And then
They shouldn't even be allowed to put that on. Like, it's a good like rule of thumb for someone that's an average height. Average, very average. But at the end of the day, like all this data comes from. I used to know how many studies, but it's literally in the it's like 50,000 maybe. It's amazing how they go about, because we had to look at in nutrition. We had to look at how they actually formulate their contentions on like the food pyramid and everything. Because if you don't understand how we get to that sort of contention, then it's. But everyone criticizes it, and I'm like. Remember, we were thinking about this generally. It's a bit like how everyone criticizes like the BMI, but the BMI is great at a like federal level, right? Like a state level, or even like in like a national level. Yeah, for the masses.
To gauge like where we're at as a population.
Yeah.
Because do you really want the government coming to you? This sounds like some FBI shit. Get your tinfoil hats out, right? Like, do you really want the government coming to your house, getting body fat calipers, measuring you, and then getting your body fat? You know what I mean? That's weird. I'm like, this is whack. But
take way too much time.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? But and really, the time and resources for that would cost. I would not know how much that would cost. It was millions, maybe even up to probably not billion, but it would cost a lot of money to hire staff and do that.
Well, for like, a prime example of that recently with the vote, 122.
Imagine how much it would cost
to actually hire people to
go around and do that. You know what I mean? Like, that is incredible. So everyone heckles the BMI, but the BMI is a very it's just a really easy way to gauge it. But if you apply it, if you as a professional apply it to an individual, then you're wrong.
Yeah.
Unless it sort of makes sense. Like that's for like a general body composition too. Like if you look at it and you use it for The Rock, there's a problem because The Rock is not obese.
Yeah.
He's The Rock.
I'm a little bit overweight apparently.
Really?
Because
you're a bit shorter than me.
Pardon?
You're a bit shorter than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm only like 5'8".
So yeah, but
yeah, like I'm a little bit overweight, but according to the BMI, but
obviously you're not.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, for the masses, definitely it's a good thing.
It's great. Yeah.
Unless a lot of people aren't like in our world. So
a lot of the.
I think that's a lot of a lot of people ignore that fact as well.
Like, yeah, and it's always fitness people who are like heckling the BMI, like, when I need to account for muscle mass and but it's like not really.
Someone that loves golf and doesn't know what fitness.
And they just do like a general 9 to 5. Yeah, they come and have a beer with the fam and whatever.
Like, look at you like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, and you can't really expect that person. Fitness professionals or like fitness enthusiasts like really have this thing where they just talk down to people. Like, why don't you know that? You know why they don't know it? Because they're not fitness professionals. Yeah. That's why. I can't expect people to know like everything about what I know. That's because I'm a professional at my job.
You've
That's
got a piece of paper up there saying you do.
Oh yeah, true.
So like, not everyone.
It's actually it's literally just a piece of paper that says fitness professional.
Yeah.
Nah. It's a framed degree.
Yeah.
That's why. Like, I have a bachelor in health science.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, not everyone has it. I don't have a bachelor in health science.
But that's another question too, which I'm not actually going to touch on. But in the future, it'd be good to discuss like, does a personal trainer need a degree? And I reckon that's going to be a bit of a controversial one.
Yeah, that'll be.
My contention on that is not what people would think from someone with a degree.
What do you reckon?
I'm going to touch on it briefly, and then I'm not going to touch on it because people are like, "Ugh."
Did you just edit out of that?
No, I'm not going to edit it out. I'm all about the real world, whatever this is. But like, I don't think a personal trainer needs a degree. I have a degree, and I'm here to tell you that I do not think a personal trainer needs one. I know personal trainers, who will coach circles around me. It would be a massacre. I'd be like, dead on the ground. And they do not have degrees. But they are very well read. They understand way more about physiology and anatomy and biomechanics than I do. And they invest their time intelligently into courses. You know what I mean? They're always learning. But you definitely don't need a degree. The degree will help you like the degree helps you look at this information a lot more critically, and you take away what's important and what's not, and what sort of, because some of these courses out there are like, I'm like, whoa, you know, that's questionable as information. Where did you get that from? So the degree really helps you decipher what's important and what's not. And also, it is a huge kickstart into your further education as a fitness professional. Yeah. But you definitely don't need to have one. You know, I've spoken to a lot of personal trainers without them, who not even coach circles, but educate me, and I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? Like, that was mind blowing. And I don't even think about the degree thing. Like a lot of these personal trainers,
I don't think about anything in my degree. Well, I do obviously think about something in my personal training degree.
Yeah.
But it's not like something that's always on my head. I'm like, oh.
Look, I don't look going, does he have a degree?
I don't reference back to my personal training. I'm with uni as well. Like they drill it into you. Like you need to have a very good reason for why you're doing what you're doing. But I reference statistically meaningful, relevant research for the population group that I'm training. Yeah. Right. When I discuss things such as what we just discussed about branch chains, etc. Right, which I didn't actually reference then, but I could get references. You know what I mean? Like I know where to look, and I know I've probably saved them on my computer and stuff like that. But like you don't need to have like a bunch of freaking references right in front of you. You know what I mean? Just to say things. Yeah. You know, that's what the hell? Because some things are just like ask you where it came from, like how'd you find
it? Then here's the source, and it needs to be. It doesn't need to be, but it always looks better if it's like a Google Scholar PubMed citation. Yeah. And you've got like, you know, and it's credible. You know what I mean? Not this like unpublished data stuff. This is unpublished data, and we know that. It's like no. Or not like a blog post, you know, from some random fitness website. Like, where did they get their information from? You know, you got to be real critical about all this stuff, and and you have to think about like the evidence hierarchy. So what study is it? Is it even a study? It could be a meta-analysis. You know what I mean? Is it just observational? Is it just an observational study? Or is it a lot more powerful than that? You know what I mean? But at the same time, we're in this age now where we are like, why didn't you bring me a study for that? Where did you find that? And it's like, that's not good either. You know what I mean? Being evidence-based, and I think like a lot of the very like educated, like the higher ups, the ones that we look up to, they say things like, you know, you don't really need to have a freaking study for just about every single thing you do, but you do need to like have a good reason, and you need to use principles and even your own observation in order to justify why. And if it is a little bit too far from what's conventional, then you need to have a really good reason why. Like you're not gonna reinvent the wheel and then make a friggin' square and you're stuffed up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that makes sense. That was a big rant. Far out.
That's a funny analogy.
Yeah, it's weird. Do you want to talk a bit about nutrition?
What would you like to know?
What are some of your biggest dieting blunders?
What do you mean?
Like really, you never had like a
blunder?
Yeah, like you stuff up, you know, like things that you used to believe that aren't really true, and like did you like used to believe like keto was like something? What do you think of keto? We'll go start with that.
I think that a lot of people think it's something that it's not.
Okay, what do people think it is?
So like, I think it's something you can run for the rest of your life. Like you're gonna fucking end up with like failure of organs if you run it for life. Like they should listen to what it actually is, like increasing the mitochondria and stuff. So like essentially the engines that are firing everything off.
Get right into it because I want people to know.
So if you burn off all the fuel, like you got no fuel to like be alive. So like, you can't run it forever. It's awesome. Like say if you're overweight and you need to drop weight fast,
which isn't bad because a lot of people. Like if you're really overweight, and we're talking like super obese, you know, which is meant to be offensive, people get really offended. But like if you're like literally almost bedridden, you're struggling to go to bed every day because you're so overweight, even my professors were like, this is where like very low calorie diet, VLCD, is a good idea.
Yeah, that's where you hear of them like 800 calorie diets.
Yeah, then you got to get that weight off. That's a health risk. You know what I mean?
There's people that are like the average population, like someone that's in the average population, and then they're running an 800 calorie.
And then there's a problem.
And you're like, what are you doing?
And it's not really keto, it's a high protein.
Like
what we talked about, it's not.
A bit off keto at the moment, but
yeah.
yeah, with the keto, like they'll be on a good amount of calories and stuff like that, but yeah, they think they can just run it forever.
And it's just not sustainable.
Yeah, it's not sustainable at all.
Do you really think like you could stick to something like that for a long time? Like, we're not talking forever. We're talking for like maybe a diet.
But myself or someone else?
Okay, let's start with yourself.
With myself, I wouldn't even touch keto.
Do you like carbs?
Yeah, I like carbs.
And protein, because you can't eat that much protein. People think.
So how am I supposed to build muscle?
You know what? Yeah, with that minimal amount of protein, that's not much. You know, and even if you look at like the AIS recommendations for protein intake, it's a minimum of 1.5 times body weight.
Yeah.
You know, per 1.5 grams per kilo. You know what I mean? Even if that's a minimum, right? From what I've seen, I think that's actually a bit lower when you're habituated to protein intake. I mean, when you're habituated, to resistance training. So when you're a new lifter, they recommend you consume a bit more protein. Yeah. And then when you're not a new lifter anymore, you consume less protein.
So when you're a new lifter anyway, you can...
When you're a new lifter, you can look at a barbell and...
Yeah, you can eat fucking apples all day if you want. You're going to fucking grow.
But, like, if you want to further your progress, you do need to have adequate nutrition.
Yeah.
And perhaps, I actually don't know much of the biochemistry in it, and I've actually seen some people make, like... Well, I've heard of... I haven't seen it. It could just be waffling. But I've heard of people making quite substantial gains on a ketogenic diet.
No.
Which
they're not right.
Yeah. Which maybe it's not ketogenic though. Because if you're consuming too much protein, you get gluconeogenesis and then you're not even keto.
You're still running off glucose.
Do you even keto? There needs to be a do you even keto. What are some of like do you like diet much? Like what's your diet like? And
at the moment, I don't preach it to everyone just because, like,
But that's good though.
The way that I eat is like if it fits your macros.
Yeah, but that's good that you don't preach it to everyone before we continue, because a lot of these keto dieters, or a lot of anyone that's paleo, keto, whatever diet you want to do, Atkins, Ornish, weight loss, Weight Watchers,
It's just whatever is sustainable for you.
100%, it's all about adherence. A lot of people, whatever diet they do, they have this like religious like belief that everyone else has to do it.
Yeah.
But you don't. So you do 50 macros.
So down to the essence, the reason I do if it fits your macros. If you look at every diet, every food's got macronutrients in it. Every diet's if it fits your macros.
Yeah, and that's what I told you. I shouldn't say, and I actually said this in another episode, I shouldn't, it's weird when people say like, I do or don't do if it fits your macros.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't do if it fits your macros.
That's like saying I don't, like it doesn't, is it Lane Norton, he says, that's like saying I don't do gravity.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, everyone does calories. And just because you don't do if it fits your macros doesn't mean if it fits your macros doesn't do you. Because it makes no sense to... Anyway, continue on waffling again. Go, what were you going to say?
But yeah, like, that's the reason why I follow if it fits your macros. Pretty much, if you have enough discipline, you can just eat whatever you want all the time and you could be able to pretty much...
Yeah, and do you meal prep and stuff?
No.
No, because you just have sort of a flexible lifestyle.
Yeah, I smash KFC like at least once a day.
Yeah, well, what's for lunch, KFC?
Probably.
Oh, it's on the upper road, there you go.
Like, I probably shouldn't do that. It's probably not the most healthiest thing in the world, but down to the essence, like I still get to my goals. Like I want to put on weight at the moment, so like, I'm using that meal to only that meal being the one that makes it.
What do you get at KFC?
A Zinger Stacker burger, a large one.
But not like lettuce and shit in it. There's your micronutrients. Yeah, nah. But do you eat like vegetables today? Fruit?
Probably not enough.
Okay, well there you go. But you understand that you probably should.
Yeah, I understand that I should, but I don't.
But you exercise like what, 5 days a week?
Six. Yeah.
So you exercise 6 days a week, right? Like you're lean. Like you're not overweight at all by any means.
So I'm getting to my goals, but probably not the most healthiest person.
Like for a lean, well, I really don't. I think conventionally, right? Consuming like a variety of fruits and vegetables is really important. 6 to 7 serves of vegetables, 2 to 3 serves of fruit per day. Just sticking to like very general recommendations for people that people can stick to. That's really easy to understand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like lean meats majority of the time. And then if you want to have carbohydrates, go ahead. If you want to have fat, you can probably go ahead too. Yeah. Just portion size and moderation and whatever. And everyone knows they can probably eat smaller portions of everything. Like if you get a plate for dinner and fill that plate up 3 times, doesn't matter what's on it, whether it's keto, paleo, Weight Watchers, Ornish, whatever.
Yeah.
You will get overweight eventually. But if you work out 6 days a week and you have KFC even every day, you're a lean, young individual. Your blood lipid profile is going to be good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's sort of like a physiological determinant of health that's really important to reference when we talk about this sort of stuff. So, is it unhealthy? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not.
It's not conventionally healthy. I say to people, like, that's not probably something I would recommend people do, but it's not bad for you because you're young, fit, and, you know.
It could potentially be bad.
Mate, it could be. Okay, I'll tell you what, if you're obese, overweight, and you're eating KFC every single day, then you go home and you have a big ass dinner, and you have a beer after, and you go to bed. You don't work out, and you wake up and you gain like another 10 kilos in like a month, which is not going to happen because if you gain 10 kilos in a month, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
But you slowly gain weight over time, and you gain even more weight around Christmas because Christmas is like wherever. Literally, like I forgot the statistic, but it's like something incredible how much weight you actually gain around Christmas in relative to how you weigh. Right, like it's like literally maybe half the amount of weight you gain. I forgot the actual statistic, but it's amazing.
Yeah,
so
there's food everywhere. So.
Yeah, it's everywhere. How good is it? But then that's a problem.
Yeah.
But if you're young and you actually want to gain weight and you eat KFC and it fits within your day, I don't really see the problem.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What about supplements? Can we talk briefly about supplements?
Which type of supplements?
Boy, what's your favourite sort of supplements that you use? And then you can talk about supplements that you recommend for people. And to give you, I shouldn't really say people, to give you a better general population, like for people who just want to get strong and big.
Well, my favourite personally, creatine monohydrate.
Okay, good.
I would give that to literally anyone that wants.
Yeah, and have you gone to Examine, which is always the best resource for this sort of stuff, and looked at the effects of creatine on cognitive performance as well?
I haven't read much.
I'm shocked. Like I'm like, oh my god, like this thing does everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's the best supplement out there.
Do you? How do you load it, dose it? What's your protocol?
Don't load it.
You don't? Yeah, I'm not. Look.
When
Muscles saturate with creatine in the end anyway.
It works a little bit faster.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But then again, in the grand scheme of things, it's 2 weeks again is really worth loading.
And you're going to spend more money in the long run anyway. Not that creatine's very cheap.
Creatine's super cheap,
but still,
you have to put in more effort. And that if you build the habit of just having 3 to 5 grams a day, every day, if you build that habit,
put in your shake. Yeah. I used to have an alarm on my phone, which I probably should put back on because I've stopped having creatine. So
you probably should start having.
That's why I'm weak and small. So what else? You don't have really anything else?
In terms of my favourites, or the ones that I'd recommend. So,
okay, what about is creatine really? Because if that's your favourite, and obviously a whey.
Yeah, obviously a whey. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't even consider that a supplement anymore. Like that's a food source.
It should just be. Well, do you mean a whey or a creatine?
No, well. You could even argue that for creatine because there's so much health benefits coming out about creatine. I'm actually shocked. But for whey, it's cheaper per gram of protein than like a steak is.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and if you're an athlete,
I actually preach it to people in the store as
it's
like a dietary requirement.
Yeah, like if you're like lifting weights, and he's doing any sort of athletic endeavor that requires muscle contractions, which is almost all of them, right? Well, just about all of them, yeah.
Unless you can like telekinesis.
I'm very trying to rack my brain here about sports that don't require muscle contractions. You should probably have a sufficient amount of protein, and it's especially in this economy and market, it's really hard to actually get, especially for like young kids. Maybe if you're a billionaire, but not even. But you know what I mean? Like if you're not really well off, like a whey supplement's actually cheap.
Yeah.
I think when I calculated it was about 1.7 times cheaper than steak per gram of protein.
Yeah.
That's fucking cheap. You know what I mean?
When I found out that whey is pretty much cheaper than
steak,
I was just...
Or chicken even.
Like I'll just smash whey.
Or KFC. Yeah. But then that's full of fat and everything, so if you're not...
Then again, I've got like over 100 fats in my...
That's so good. Well, then again, I'm trying to lose a bit of weight. I'm on 97 grams of fat. Yeah. And everyone's like, oh my God, like that's so much fat. And I'm like, well, not really, because I'm not getting on stage. Will you ever compete, do you reckon?
Probably in the next like 5 years or so.
You are a jack dude, like you could probably do it.
No, I don't want to, like I want to go into a comp and then just smash everyone.
Yeah, you want to be able to, you want to be confident.
Yeah, like, I'm literally, like I'm staying in my surplus that I am at the moment for the next at least 2 years.
Are you into like a mini cut?
Maybe.
Will you clean up a little bit?
I probably, if things start to get out of hand.
Yeah, which I did that. So I went from 54 to 94, right? You should have seen how out of hand it got. Like, my God, was I overweight? But not overweight, but I everyone was like, wow, you look massive. And then one of my friends was like, you're fat. But like, screw him. But like, I wasn't overweight, but I was chubby. Like, I would have been like 18% body fat for sure. You know what I mean? Like, pushing 20. But at the end of the day, like, that's probably the most gains I've ever made.
So if I got up to like 18-20%, that's probably when I was...
Yeah, you just cut it back.
Go back a bit.
Yeah, you don't feel as good about yourself, that's for sure.
Yeah, so pretty much I just stay up in the 14 to 17% range.
Yeah.
Like, anywhere in between that.
Because that 1%, 17 to 18, object, like looking at yourself.
You look lean and then you just back fat.
You're like, hips, what happened? So what do you recommend for clients? You recommend a creatine, you said? No, a whey you recommend?
A whey, creatine.
I know, that's what it's like having that's the noises of a factory. Yeah.
What else have we got? Depends, like BCAAs depends if they're high, like if they're having an adequate protein intake.
Yeah. But if they have an inadequate protein intake, would you just recommend a whey, and then they would have sufficient branch chains?
If they're having enough.
Yeah, well that's true. Okay.
So, like if they're having like fucking 5 grams of whey, 5 scoops of whey a day, and having no other protein, I'll be like, okay, you can just have that.
Yeah.
But
so you recommend? So maybe it's contextual, isn't it? Like it really does depend.
Yeah, it does depend. Like a lot of things depend in nutrition. That's the fun thing about nutrition.
Yeah.
It's like there's so.
Would you pursue a further education in nutrition?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's where like at the moment like the first off, love training more than anything in the world.
Yeah.
Now I'm coming into like kind of the middle ground is where I like both of them tie in together.
This sort of happened to me.
Yeah.
Like I actually started opposite. I like nutrition more, and I had less knowledge about training.
Yeah.
Then I went into more training, and then I let nutrition slide a little bit, and then I got caught up and not caught up because it's really easy. Like when you follow like the right people, you stay up to date because they do it for you. But like, and then
when they're just posting studies 24/7.
You're like, okay, read that. But then after that, I went from like the sort of both realms. I thought like, I'm pretty confident here. I don't know everything. I'm never going to know everything. People are going to think like he thinks he knows everything. But then I really looked at like other things like screening, orthopedic profile testing, all that stuff.
Yeah, I haven't dove that far into it yet.
From my just brief, I don't have much experience. I've probably looked at that stuff for a couple of years now. When compared to nutrition and exercise, I don't know how long I've been looking at that sort of stuff for. Not everyone needs a screening. The screening is the task they need to perform. You know what I mean? And most people's orthopedic profiles, most of the time, you can figure out what they need to do based on literally looking at them and then looking at them perform an exercise. Like a squat is a screening. You know what I mean?
So
that tells me a lot about someone.
Eventually, when I become a personal trainer, like that's what I'll be probably using for this.
That is, you know what I mean? A screening is.
But if they're standing up and like one shoulder's like down like this, and you're like, all right, we need to fix that.
Yeah. So like even that's like a whole other kettle of fish, which I'm not even going to touch on, but. Otherwise, because I'm going to wrap this up in a minute, but I have lost my train of thought. So where were we? Okay, the screening for me is literally like sometimes it is, not all the time. It depends on the person. But most of the time, you can get away with literally like, okay, we're going to do a squat, a push, a pull, a hinge, and a core exercise in a circuit 3 or 4 times with a couple of reps, keep it conventional rep range and hold the plank for a little bit, maybe 15 seconds. And my God, that tells you like everything.
Yeah,
just about.
Look at everything and you're like,
it might do like a single leg exercise. You might do like a hinge for anyone is hard, like a deadlift, like to get people to hinge from the hips. Usually that's very very difficult for people.
I've actually experienced that a lot. Like not myself, but like
watching other people do it. It's like lumbar flexion, and they don't bend their knees, and they bend their knees too much, and then they like stick their head up like this, and you're like, oh, what the fuck?
That's funny. Like at the start, before like I looked into a lot of things. Like I was like training one of my friends, and I was like teaching him how to deadlift.
Yeah.
Like, you bend from the hips like that. And I couldn't bend from the hips, and I'm like,
how?
I'm like, how can you not bend from your hips?
but it is. I'll tell you what the cue that gets people every time. It's either like this is rude as. So if you're not into the rude stuff, turn it off. But it's like stick your ass back like you're presenting. I'll tell you what, they'll get it straight away.
Just moved him straight away.
Yeah, and everyone's like, oh, I get it. And I'm like, that's so weird. Like, how do you? But whatever.
I actually looked at a pose that BB banned a while ago. It was called the moon pose.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
It's like showing off the hamstrings.
Ah.
It looks fucking ridiculous.
Does it?
Yeah, it's like that. Like bend over, put their hands in the ground, and they're like, fucking.
Like full on, like just ass in the face.
Is my phone over there? I'll show it.
Yeah, because I'm not too familiar with like posing and all that. I won't take too much more of your time. I'll wrap it up in a minute with one of the most important questions that you're gonna have to answer.
What's that?
You ready for it? If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
To grow my hair back.
Really? No, it looks good bald.
Bench press, more weight.
She's like, you would
Like a silverback gorilla strength.
like super strength.
Yeah, super
that's
super
loose.
strength.
That's all right. I was gonna say like, if
Actually,
you,
when I was a kid, my main hero that I loved was the Hulk.
really, you like the Hulk? That's all right. Get around the Hulk. All right. So I won't take too much more of Hayden's time, and I won't take too much more of the listeners' time. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll speak to you in the next one.